Namaskaram. So the question was, why to do an initiated practice at 3:40 a.m.? What if you do anything you are intense and love to at 3:40? Is it going to be the same experience? Now, I'm not the correct person to answer this question, but let me tell you from my experience. So basically, 3:40 a.m. Actually works. If you have watched Sadhguru's video, it works only within certain region between, I think, like a Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, somewhere around that. I'm not actually sure, but like it does not actually work towards the region closer to the northern pole and then closer to the southern pole. The main reason being because, as you know, that we have been created by the churning of the solar system. So the planets as well as the sun influences into us. So what actually happens is, for example, we are at the moment in the Uttarayana, which basically means the sun is moving towards the north. So because of this reason, like we are getting like a more solar energy, and there is more energy in the environment. Similar to that one, the Uttarayana is basically one cycle of the revolution of the sun. That basically is 1 year. It will come, which is basically moving from winter towards the summer. And we are in the spring at the moment. So similar to that one, 3:40 is basically considered as the Bramhamuhurtam, which is not only in spiritual practices, it's in the religion and everything. So the Bramhamuhurtam is basically what I've read previously is close to 90 minutes before the sunrise. So that is considered as the Bramhamuhurtam, and that is the best time to do the spiritual practices. And now, if you look why 3:40 does not, or the Bramhamuhurtam may not apply, again, like you can check the fact out or something. But if you look like at the northern pole or the southern pole, closer to that one, for example, in Europe or something, during the summer, the days are too long. For example, like it will get morning around like a 4 a.m. and then it gets dark around like a 9 or 10 a.m. also. So the daylight is too long, and during the winter, the nights are too long as well. Okay, so basically during the night and during the summer and during the winter, the length of the day and length of the night are like a very, very different. Okay, so they are not very closer in limit. So basically, like coming back to the Bramhamuhurtam, so 90 minutes, around 90 minutes before the sunrise, like that is the what you can say like a cultural traditional thing in the religious practices and everything. Why that is so is because as you know, like when you are going to sleep, your body is tamasic in nature. That is the inertia, and the inertia is actually what is making you jump into the action and go into the rajas. Because what actually happens is when you are in tamas, that is your body is in tamasic level. If you know about a little bit about like physics and everything, there is something known as the potential energy. So the energy starts like accumulating at that time. The body is regenerating itself, and that is where like you get a lot of energy. And the moment you have sufficient energy in the system, the body comes to awake by itself, and that process is known as the rajas. Okay, so the transition is actually happening. Similar to that one, when the night is turning into the day, basically like the energy will as the sun, the earth, like where, let's say like the geographic location where we are sitting at that time, we are actually facing towards the so the sun is about to come out toward geographic region. So basically the body will know by itself, and then it will try to like get back to like a life. So now like why the initiated practice at 3:40? Now what actually happens is, see, the rajas and tamas, these two things, for example, like the tamas is basically the inertia, and rajas is basically the activity. So this is the duality of the physical nature. So you don't need to do anything, like it is happening by itself. Okay, so you'll go to activity, you get tired, and then like you get rest, and when you get a rest, like you regenerate energy and come back to action. So this will go in cycles, whether you like it or not, or that is how it is. Now, like why the initiated practice and everything is, like I said, like it's actually considered as the 90 minutes, but if you go and look into the watch and everything every day, you cannot calibrate, because for every geographic location, like the sunrise is going to be completely different. Now why 340 is because like I'm not sure, but like this is how it is because since you have been initiated into certain practice and everything, that basically means you are closely interrelated with Sadhguru's energy. So this is basically a tantra in place. So basically like he's actually providing a support so that like it will ease your like spiritual growth. And why spiritual practice at 340 is because while your body's every particle in your body is that is the moment like where it is like at highest energy peak, basically in terms of like a prana. And now like that is in transition, just like the night is turning into the sun, night is turning into the day. Not only that, like the energy in the environment is also changing from night to day. So basically like it is going to be like more energetic. That is how like all the animals, all the plants and animals comes into life. So at that time, like while that transition is happening from sattva, tamas to rajas, that is the time like as you know from the physics and everything. For example, like if everybody knows, if you have gone through the physics class, there is like a 2 laws of Newton's law. The first law of Newton and second law of Newton. So law of motion. Okay, so basically what actually happens is, let's say if a rock is in a rest, so if you want to like change the direction of the rock, it's going to be very difficult to move it, first of all. Okay, and similarly, like if a rock is rolling, let's say like 1,000 ton of rock is rolling, now like it is going to be nearly difficult to change the direction or even stop it as well. If you try to stop it, you are going to crush yourself. So basically like this Bramhamuhurtam, the period when the sun is like about to rise, and then the gravitational pull and electromagnetic forces and all that kind of other energies which we are not aware of everything, is actually bringing you from tamas to rajas. Basically like tamas basically means like you can say like it's more like a death, and then rajas is like a more kind of activity, but like a beyond our control. Okay, so basically what is going to happen is, when that transition is actually happening, that is the time you can shape it, or you can transcend it more easily. You can change the direction, or you can transcend. And that is one of the moments that like there is more sattvic energy in the existence. Okay, so you can consider like a more ojas or that kind of energy, like which is not impacted by most of the energy, because most of the people are asleep. Okay, during the night time, like while it is when the sun is going down or something, people are all in activity, and then like a more animal nature will take over them. While when you are waking up, like you are a clean slate. Okay, you don't have too much carrying from like the yesterdays or something. So it is more easier for you to like transcend. And like I said, like why initiative practice, if you want a short answer, very very short answer rather than what I've said, is basically like there is a tantra in place, like which is actually accessing your being. And at the time the Sadhguru's energy is there to support your growth. And at the moment, like why 340 is basically again because of the sun is coming on. Now like coming to the second question, like what if you do anything, you're intense and love it, 340, is it going to be the same experience? Now what you are intense or love it about is everything is only the the groundwork. Okay, it is just the groundwork. It has nothing to do with the transcendence. You can make use of your intensity of what you love and everything to transcend, but like it is not going to help you to transcend. What we are talking about, the initiated practice, is designed geared towards the transcendence itself. For example, like if you are intense about like art or like let's say design or something, what is actually happening is you are making use of your mind over there. So for example, like if you want to ask what is the proper time to do anything or something. There's no proper time. Like if you are not impacted by time in space or something, every moment is the best time. So for example, like what is the best time to feel alive? This moment is the only moment that you can feel alive. You cannot feel alive in any other moment. Now coming back to like what if you do anything, you are intense and love to at 340. Okay, so it's up to you. Like we have already spoke earlier as well. Like it's more like a farming. Okay, it's more like a farming. If you want to farm and something like that, even if you know everything, how to do it and everything, if let's say like all the conditions are also really good and everything, but if you do not do in the proper timing, it's not going to work. Okay, maybe it is going to work, but like it will require more effort for that one. For example, like let's say like the plantation season is here. If you don't plant it, like let's say you plant a week afterwards or a month afterwards or something, maybe like you are still going to yield something, but like it is not going to have the same potential. So is it going to be a same experience or something? Like let's not talk about like, because experience is a subjective thing, so it depends upon like how conscious and aware you are. And then for example, like if you're talking about like the spiritual dimension and everything, then like it completely depends upon like how much ojas if you have in your system. Ojas is basically like how much ojas you have is going to determine like how easily you can transcend to another dimension, or even like you can go through life and everything. So this is my experience. So the more ojas you have, that is how you are going to experience. But now like is it going to be the same experience? No, it's not going to happen the same experience, because there are other aspects also, but like I will discuss that afterwards. But at the moment, like if you why to do initiative practice at 340, because there is a tantra in place, and at that time like there is a natural support of the the rotation, the relationship between the sun and earth, because that is the transition period. Yeah, so like you can keep the other aspects other time, because we cannot actually like do the practices all the time as well, because of like the our system's limitation, and a lot of other factors in place and everything, because we are still living in a social condition and everything because of that reason. So you can keep whatever you do and everything at other times. I think like I answered your questions. Yeah, so thank you very much. Namaskaram. If you have any queries, you can get back to me. Namaskar.